So hey everybody, welcome back. It's a beautiful day. Today and for the past couple of weeks we've been back here in Pennsylvania at the farm. And I hope your week has gone pretty well. I've had a very interesting week. I had a major video backup hard drive failure. And I probably need to explain it because it's absolutely messed up a lot of what I had planned on doing here. I had been working on a video of the Schuylerville Revolutionary War sites. It is up, so you can check out. That one is up. But I had it all set up. I had the music, the intro, the dialogue, everything was all set up. And I kept trying to get it rendered into a single movie. And I kept having failures. And I tried this for several days. And nothing worked. And it finally occurred to me that there's just not enough room on my laptop in order to do it, in order to make it into a movie. And to explain further, I have everything on my laptop, all my photography, all my videos, my raw videos. The only thing I don't have in there is the videos. Once they're made and they're posted to YouTube, I can always download them later. So I put everything safely on a backup hard drive. And once I figured out that my computer wasn't, it didn't have enough memory. It's a good computer. It's an old computer, and it has a lot of memory. It just doesn't have an endless amount of memory. So what I decided to do, brilliant move, was to put all my raw files that I haven't completed and to take them off of the laptop because I had them on the backup. And I left out like three. I had the Schuylerville files. I had the Saratoga Battlefield those files. I left those on the computer. And after I had done that, I also had the Brandywine Battlefield. There is a bit of a Revolutionary War theme going here, but I'll get into that later. But so I'd left those 3 sets of files in the laptop. Everything else I took out of the laptop. Again, I had it on the hard drive. No problem. At least there shouldn't be a problem. And so I got the Schuylerville video done. And then I went about, I said, well, I'll put a couple more back onto the laptop. And it wouldn't go. It wouldn't go. So, easy, so I tried different ways to configure the hard drive. Tried different ports. No luck. Nothing. I couldn't get anything back from the hard drive, from the external hard drive onto the laptop. I went online and I checked out different sites where they tell you what to try if your backup hard drive dies. Different things that you can do. No luck. And especially after I had tried it a few times, I kept getting a message that there was a fatal error in that particular addition to the laptop. So what that means is that aside from 3 other videos that were still on the laptop, I've lost everything. I have had failures before, but I've always had room so that I didn't have to move everything. I always had room on the laptop so I didn't have to move everything. This is the first. So I have lost everything that I shot this spring in New York. I lost my Fort Ticonderoga video. I lost my Crown Point video. I lost my Mount Defiance video. I lost my Fort Stanwix video. Yeah, there is a Revolutionary War theme going here. And I did a brief tour of Lake Placid because I was at the Lake Placid Horse Show. I had some Lake Placid Horse Show video. It was all raw. You know, it was stuff I hadn't gotten to. And I was trying to do it in a chronological order. Gone. I also lost the remainder of things that I did in Arizona when I was in Arizona that I hadn't gotten to, which meant my Painted Desert Petrified Forest video files are gone. Meant my Joshua Tree files are gone. It meant my Salton Sea files are gone. It meant my Sonny Bono National Wildlife Refuge photos are gone. It meant my Yuma photos, or my Yuma video is gone. It meant this absolutely terrific drive through this absolutely fantastic canyon, Box Canyon, that you get from Route 40 in California. You take this road. It's called Box Canyon Road. It's opposite Joshua Tree, the exit for Joshua Tree, down to the Salton Sea, down to Mecca in California. Absolutely splendid, beautiful, absolutely gorgeous Box Canyon footage. It's all gone. So I'm what my plans for what I was going to do the rest of the next couple of months, they've all changed. I can look at it this way. The only thing that I had to pay to get into, if I want to redo them, is Fort Ticonderoga. Everything else is free. Everything else that I've shot here, you know, on the East Coast, in upstate New York, it's all free. Everything that I'd shot in Arizona and California, that's all free. It's all gone. So if we end up back in the West again this year, we're gonna have a lot to video. And like I said, I've got 2 more months here between Pennsylvania and New York. I've got 2 more months here, so I have an idea that a lot of what I shot will probably get reshot. The one good thing is that now that I know what those places look like and kind of know how I did it the last time, hopefully I can improve on what I did the last time. You know, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. So that is what my week has been like. I hope your week has been better. So what I thought would be fun, since I don't really I'm not ready with the Bennington battlefield yet, when that video, I thought I might give you an idea as to how I ended up shooting video and how I ended up on YouTube, which is actually a pretty funny story. So I think I'll share that with you. So how did I end up shooting video and ending up putting those videos on YouTube? I know you've heard of the term butt dialing. It usually refers to your phone. Well, last year, I had never shot a frame of video before last year. I was a still photographer, been a still photographer all my life. As soon as I knew how to point a camera and press the shutter button, I was hooked. And I've gotten to be where I'm pretty good. But I've never shot video. It's always been stills. But last year, at about, I would say January and February, I knew that my life was going to start going into travel and become a full-time on the road and explore. And I started checking out videos on YouTube. And I I had not been somebody who really went into like the homemade YouTube videos. And I kind of stuck with the, kind of stayed within the theme of nomads full time, just to see how they had constructed their videos. I wanted to see what, you know, the different styles and different things that I liked and I didn't like. Well, I accidentally ended up on my site. I didn't realize that once you get a Google account, you now have a YouTube site if you choose to use it. And I was curious, so I just kind of started, you know, exploring what YouTube, you know, what was on YouTube. And I found this video that was on my site, and thought it was kind of odd because I had not posted anything before, didn't even own an action camera, and I don't shoot anything hardly with my phone. And so I'm looking at this video, and it's static. It's about 3-4 minutes of static. And the title was like a series of whys. Why. It's like you get your finger stuck on a key on your keyboard, and you know it just keeps repeating the same. So I'm looking at this video, which is all static, and I look down, and there's been several thousand views of this particular video, which I thought was just really bizarre, because I hadn't put it on purpose. I hadn't done it on purpose. And the even stranger thing was that there was two subscribers already. But what I came to understand was that's probably what happened, is that I had probably by accident triggered the record button on my camera, and for some reason it had gotten uploaded to Google. I had already been posting things, you know, on Facebook. And so I'm just assuming that that's kind of the way that it started. Totally by accident. After that, I got really curious, and I started checking out more YouTube sites. And I ordered a small action camera. Again, I don't do anything with my phone. It's good for GPS. That's about all I use it for. And it's an Picasso. It's not quite a GoPro. It's about half the price of a GoPro. One of the nomads that I follow recommended the Picasso. He was just getting started, and that was the equipment that he was using. So it led to me trying to figure out how I wanted to say what I wanted to say, you know, because I've got lots of stories, and there's a lot of places I can take people, but I have to figure out how I want to present it. And in the meantime, I threw up a couple of short slideshows that I had done of my friend's horses, and I had them previously. I had them on Facebook with music that YouTube would have given me, copyright hits, would have gotten me copyright hits on YouTube. So I refigured them with music that I found that YouTube allows you to use. I hadn't realized there's a whole audio library on YouTube that you can use on your videos. So I redid those. And then I did a couple of videos. I did like an introduction video, which is still on my YouTube channel. And at the same time that I'm considering going out on the road, my son is getting ready he's getting ready to leave home. 35. We both kind of figured it was time. But so I started checking out the videos that other people were doing to see how they were doing it and what they looked like and what I liked about those videos and what I saw that really wouldn't suit my style. And I started to develop kind of a rough outline as to how I wanted to do them. And personally, I personally think that it's just as good to know what doesn't fit you and what you want to put on your videos, as much as what you'd like to do. So I took, like I said, I took some time, and I started just kind of going through, deciding what would work for me, and what would work, what works for other people, that I just, it's not gonna fit our themes. And every creator, every artist, they're putting out there what they want to put out there. It doesn't, everything doesn't always fit everybody. So I did decide a few things that I was not, it didn't work with me, or didn't. Here's to say that these things that I'll go ahead and list a few things that I saw that just aren't my style, and just are things that I don't think I want to use. Here's to say, and I'll be the first to tell you, I may at some point decide to use them, to try them out. I think experimenting is one of the ways that we learn. But these are the things that I'm going to be trying to steer away from. And you may have noticed some of them so far if you've seen some of my videos. But so these are the things that I decided just don't fit in with the way that I want to go forward. So as a viewer, these are a couple of things, handful of things that I don't care for. One is, when I'm watching a video that a creator has done, they will sometimes, some of them anyway, will every 5 minutes or so, they'll have subscribe or like, scroll across the screen, and then maybe they'll have animation pointing, with a finger pointing toward it, and you think it's done, and then 5 minutes later it goes across again, and it's just a continual thing. I understand that a lot of YouTubers, this is how they make their money, is by doing videos, and the more subscribers and the more people who like means that their check is going to be a little bit more. And so I understand that, and I'm not going to begrudge anybody money to do that, who wants to do that. But for me, it's almost an immediate turn off. The only time I really will continue watching somebody's video who does that is if it's somebody who's talking about something that I'm really interested in. If they're just going on and on about something, and they start doing that, I'll drop the video. I'll move on. I have no problem with people who, with creators who will do like at the very beginning, hey, if you like this, subscribe, like, share it with your friend, whatever. Or at the very end. I do mine usually at the very end. When I do them and I add the subscribe, I usually don't add a subscribe button. I figure people are smart enough to find the subscribe button on their YouTube channel, on their YouTube page. But I'll say it at the end. Hey, if you like this video, let me know, say hi. I don't keep doing it all the way through the video, and if I start in the front, I won't end it in the back. I won't repeat it in the back. It's just something that to me, it screams overkill. It just screams like, oh my God, I'm just begging for you to do this. That's not how I want my videos perceived. Another thing that just kind of is not my style, and is just not something that I really care for, is watching people eat. I don't know, call me crazy. Unless it's a video about a cooking, they're doing a cooking segment, and then they might want to just, do it at the end. But to sit there and watch people eat is just not something that I'm that interested in. God bless you if you do it. I'm not dishing you or anything, but it's just not what I am personally fond of. The same thing goes for when a lot of YouTubers will often they will focus on making coffee every morning. That's how they start their day. And I mean, maybe once every great moon, you know, if you want to do like a video that's showing how you make your day, by all means, you know, that's okay. But for me, you know, they'll do a close-up of the coffee pot, and then they'll do a close-up of them pouring water in, and then coffee in, and all that stuff, and it's just like, it's just not my thing. So eating and drinking is not something that I plan on doing. Another thing is video in video. And this is something that I may at some point experiment with, but I don't plan on making it a regular feature. And a lot of nomads who do the traveling thing, they will have they'll have their main screen video going, and then in the corner, they'll have a little video of what's going on. Maybe they're talking to a friend, maybe it's a pet, whatever. I just find that, personally, I find that distracting. Maybe it's just me. It's probably just me, but I'm never sure, do I face this way and watch what's going on in this screen, or do I watch what's going on in this screen? And even if I'm watching what's going on in this screen, I will occasionally, you know, turn my head to see what's going on, and I just find that very distracting. And I'm not going to say that I'll never try it, because like I said, experimenting is fun. It's a fun way to figure out, you know, maybe I do like this. And I'm not going to say that at some point I won't like it, but just me as a person, it's just very distracting. I want to pay attention to one thing at a time. It's just me. Another thing that I really pay attention to in my videos is when I put a dialogue text box up. I know almost every creator and nomad will do that at some point. What I found sometimes, and I don't know if they're just in a hurry, or it's just something that they haven't really gone back and checked. And it may be something, the way that they're editing their film, but oftentimes they'll put a text box up, and you start reading it, and then it's gone. You don't have time to read the whole bit of what they're trying to say, and I think that's one of the things that I concentrate on my videos. I do a lot with text boxes. But I will edit. I edit it so that people have enough time to read it. Because not everybody reads at the same speed, and some people are slower readers. So that I make sure that if I put up text, it's up there long enough for people to read it. Which some people want to say, well, it's up there a little longer than it needs to be. It's because I'm trying to be conscious that, like I said, not everybody reads not everybody takes the same time to read. So that is something that I'm very conscious, and I will go through and proofread everything that I put up. Oh God, 5, 6, 7 times sometimes I will go through the video before I'm sure I want to put it up. And I try and check names, and I try to check everything that I put up. Spelling to me is very important, so it's just one of the things that I'm really conscious of. And then finally, I think, from what I can think of right now, is shorts. I hate shorts, except for the kind you wear. I want longer versions of video, and they don't all have to be long, but a short version is just like a commercial to me, and it's like, this is what you get if you tune in. I really don't like shorts. I think the shortest thing I did was like 3 minutes long, and that was just to kind of experiment with seeing how much video you could get into a song, or, you know, to go along with the song or whatever. And I've done a couple of them, but they haven't been, you know, they've been like 3 to 5 minutes. And I probably won't do a lot of them. And I certainly am probably not going to do them, you know, shorter than, like I said, 3 to 5 minutes, you know, the length of whatever music piece I want to put with them. I mean, shorts to me are just, you know, I'm not good with being on a platform where you're limited to a certain number of characters. Again, that's me. But those are the things that I'm trying to, you know, trying to avoid, or at least not do a lot of. We'll see. Again, things change. I may at some point decide, you know, hey, I like this, and do it. But those are the kind of things that I really am not, don't strike my fancy. I guess what I want to say is I've really come to like shooting video. And it seems like I'm doing more of that than I am actual photography these days. I've gone places and I've shot video, and it's, you know, like, the hard part is trying to think of things to say while you're shooting, you know, and then you realize you know, I would have done it totally different had I done it again. And I often have 5, 6 takes on even just the introductions alone. So I'm learning how to do that. I'm learning how to get better at that. That's been interesting. But like I said, I love shooting video, and I love the whole editing process. But I have to really seriously be in the mindset to be able to edit, which may be one of the reasons why I don't put out that many videos. I'm trying to do at least one a week. These people who put out a video every day, they amaze me. I'm like, holy cow, how can you do that? But, you know, if I can get one out a week, I'm happy. I think a lot of that is due to the fact that I suffer from the perfectionist syndrome, although I am not a perfectionist, and it has to be right. And like I said, when it comes to doing like proofreads, I'll proofread 5, 6, 7 times. I will often reshoot things over. I'll have things all shot, you know, and then I'll say, well, I want to reshoot it again just in case I don't like the way it happened the first time. And so, I mean, my editing is, you know, is a full process. It takes a full day for me to edit a video. I'm really not good at, you know, bam, getting things out. Again, that's probably why I don't release that many, you know. But we're working on it. I am trying to get better at that. You know, the other thing I have to say is failures happen. You have to be prepared. I found that I have to be prepared for failure to happen. I've had card failures before, and, you know, my SD cards. And I've pretty much learned, I think the first few times it happened, the first couple of times it happened, and in the camera it said SD card failure. I actually threw out, I think, 2 little SD cards, and they're not cheap. I actually threw them out until I realized, you know, I think with the 3rd time it happened, I realized I'm going to go ahead and try and reformat the card. And that's all it took to fix. Of course, you lost, you know, I lost everything that I had filmed, but at least I'm not throwing out a card every time I have a card failure. And up till now, that's pretty much been the worst. This external hard drive really brought home to have a backup, and maybe I should have 2 backups. Maybe I should have 2. Maybe I should have 2 external hard drives, just in case the one fails. I've got the other one, and I think I've listened to a couple of a couple of nomads who do a lot of filming, and I think they have mentioned that they have more than one backup hard drive. So that might be the way to go. Because I've lost some interesting stuff. And like I said, when I started this video, when I was talking about what I've lost, again, it's all video that I can reshoot, and now that I've done it once, I kind of know, okay, maybe I can try, you know, this, I'll say this instead of what I said before. So that will that may in the long run be actually a better video, but it bites when you've spent all this time trying to get the right video on your camera, and you go to upload it or download it, and it's a no-go. So I've also had another thing, and I don't know if it's a quirk of my camera, but when I upload it or when I download it to the program, to Adobe, it will sometimes, you know, I will download, I will check the files, the raw files that come down, and they seem fine. And then when I go to add them to make a single video, I will often find, and not often, but I will find on a very rare occasion where it's almost like when I add it to the Adobe Photoshop and it gets to the dialogue, it will skip. It'll get to a point, and then it will skip, and it will repeat what I just said, you know, and it's like the dialogue cuts off, and then it repeats what I said. And that's a thing I've encountered the last maybe a couple of times, which if you're not if you're not looking at the camera, you can easily overdub that. That's you know, that's not a problem that can't be solved. But if you're speaking and it does it, then it's a problem. But so as to the experience I've had with YouTube, so far so good. You know, I don't have a whole lot of subscribers, but I didn't set out to you know, conquer the world in one day or 1 year or 2 years. I have things that I want to say. I have places I want to take people. And it's less important to me that I have, you know, 50,000 subscribers than it is I have maybe 100 or 1,000 that are interested in what I have to say, or where I want to take them, and the places I want to show them. And like I said, this started out as a way to show my son parts of his mother that he probably doesn't know, because I don't think he knows me as well as he thinks he does. So, you know, at some point he'll get curious, and he might sit down, or his children or whatever, if he ever has children, you know, they'll sit down and they'll say, "What was Grandma like?" Or what was Mom like? You know, what were the things that she did and she experienced that I don't know. So I mean, that's basically why I started doing this. So there you have it, my fail for the week. And an explanation as to how I got here on YouTube. So I hope you enjoyed this. It got a little giggle out of it, and you know, maybe learned a little bit about me and why I do what I do. And so anyway, if you like the video, like it, send it share it with a friend, subscribe. Aha, it's the one and only time I'm going to tell you to do that in this video. No flashing headlines, no pointing fingers to point, subscribe. Just, you know what to do. Generally I'm sure I'm speaking to adults, and they know what to do. So, thanks for coming along. it's so much more fun when you have friends coming along with you. I don't know if I'd want to do this if it was just me. I feel like I have friends behind me, and I know I have a lot of friends that have stuck with me that have been my friends through the years, you know, that are on and that get to see these videos. I do share them on my personal Facebook page, and occasionally I will share them on my photography page on Facebook, and I share them with people I know. And like I said, if you like it, I hope you got something out of it. And you know, take care, and until next time, I will see you down the road. Hopefully without another major video failure.